House vibes maneuver the jet ski. Cause I serve a God that parted the Red Sea. Multi-million-dollar commercials for Pepsi. From food stamps to...
What is happening, YouTube gang? Back at you guys with another vid. I think I have to update for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, I sold 1,200 AP. And then last week, I sold 600 AP. And that is way below my goals. But the simple reason for that is because I only dialed like 4 hours each week. I just had a lot of things come up, family obligations, work. My work got really busy, my day job. So I wasn't able to put in a lot of time. But I've made some massive changes and I'm starting to see the effects of it. You know, I've noticed change number one, I guess the tip number one, big thing for me is I've realized that I'm super lazy. You know, white knuckling my way through this, like sitting down and doing the dials and being consistent with it is key, and it's very difficult for me. And so I have changed my environment. I've gotten around a group of crazy sellers that are hitting 40K AP a week or 40K AP a month. And I've noticed that just being around them, just being in that environment, sitting in there, there's two other people. We sit in this room, we both dial, we all dial. I feel super motivated. Like I feel very compelled just to like keep up with those guys and to dial. And I've never felt that kind of drive and that kind of desire just to do it. You know, normally it's like, you know, I've got to, it takes every fiber in me to get myself to sit down and dial. But just changing the environment is one simple tweak to make that makes it way easier, right? Instead of just white knuckling your way through it, because it's hard enough, getting the rejections is hard enough. Change the environment, make the environment easy for you to dial so that you want to dial, so that you feel compelled to dial, right? You feel like you're letting your team down, letting the other people down if you're not dialing. And so just changing the environment, I think, is very important. So for me, a physical space is the best thing. Get into a physical space with other people doing it, but being in a Zoom room where other people are doing it works as well. And I feel like that would be better for most of you because it's just more convenient. So yeah, I cannot say how much of a game changer that is, right? I'm way lazier than I thought. And just by changing the environment, making it easier for you to do something, helps a lot. So that at least is helping me. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna pan out going forward. The other thing, tip number two, the other thing that really worked out for me is I've noticed that my dials, right? I can have one really good dial one time in the day, and then later on in the day when I'm tired, or if I've had too much coffee, depending on how I'm feeling, my tone, my pacing will completely change. Like for me, if I get nervous or if I get some sort of objection, a lot of times I go off script now. So if I go off script, you know, I kind of wing it a little too much, and I start speaking very fast. Okay. And that has made me lose several sales. Like when I start speaking fast or when I start stuttering for me, that's kind of my weakness. That's the faults that I go to. And having somebody listen to your dials, right? Not just one dial and think, okay, it's good, but one dial, two dials. Listen to your dials throughout the day and at different days when you're in different moods, to catch the mistakes that you're making, because your pitch, your tonality, your pacing, all of that stuff is not going to be the same. It's going to change throughout the day. So it might be a blind spot for you. You might not know it. So have somebody there or record yourself several times throughout the day and then listen to it again and try to catch those things. For me, that was a big deal. I was just speaking way too fast and I was screaming in the phone and I didn't realize it. But it took the other person sitting next to me saying, hey, you're doing this. And then tweaking it and changing it. Okay, then the other thing that I heard a really good tip on YouTube, and it's basically become the person, or what is it here? Become the person who deserves your goals, right? So, you know, for me, I want to make 15K a month coming in. So, from this insurance sales. So 15K coming in, I don't want to think about the 15K, but I want to think about becoming the person who actually deserves that 15K each month coming in, right? So what does that mean? That means somebody who's disciplined. That means somebody who's focused, somebody who gets their script down, who practices it over and over again, right? Somebody who doesn't get flustered when they get objections. Somebody who, you know, has a routine, and somebody who puts in the hours dialing, puts in the amount of dials to get the amount of presentations required to get the amount of sales. So become the person who deserves it. Kobe Bryant always said this, right? He would always work. He would be the hardest worker. He would go in at 3 a.m. do those workouts because if he put in the time, if he put in the practice, nobody else can catch up with him. So he became the person that deserved to be the best. And he was the best, and he won, right? So for this, right, for me, become the person who deserves your goals, deserves what you're going for. Don't think about the goals, but think about becoming the person who actually deserves those goals. And I think that mindset, at least for me, is a really cool way to frame it, and I think it's going to help me going forward. But those are the tips that I've got for you guys. As always, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.
I don't gotta talk, the Lord defends me. I watch them all fall for going against me. Cause me and all my angels.